Hey there folks, my name's PaperFish and today I wanted to share my thoughts on the state of VR in 2026. There appears to be a lot of negativity on YouTube at the minute surrounding VR, kind of saying it's had its day, it's run its course, everyone's pulling out. And I'm not professing to be some sort of VR guru with all the answers. Truth be told, I've only been in this space myself for about 12 months, but I do think that entitles me to an opinion on what I think VR is currently about and whether or not I think it's worth getting into in 2026. With all this negativity, I can see how that's off-putting to people that are thinking of maybe taking the plunge and buying themselves a headset, and that'd be a goddamn shame if people missed out on what VR's got to offer, even in its current state. Hopefully you're going to get something from this video. If you do me a solid, give it a like, even better, leave a comment, help push this video out for anybody else that might be thinking of taking the VR plunge. I'm using an app, Brink Traveller, while recording this video, just because it's got some spectacular graphics in it. If nothing else, I thought you lovely folks, you might enjoy the scenery if my dulcet tones get too much. Anyway, stick around, hope you enjoy. Hit that like button if you do, and let me share my little VR story. Yeah, as I said, I've been in VR about 12 months now, and what got me into it in the first place was actually the limited edition Quest headset. I kind of justified the purchase with, even if VR's crap, at least I've got a limited edition headset that might be worth some money one day. Typical Gen X, eh? But I've got to say, I'm so glad that I did. Within a few months of playing with the 3S, which is basically what the limited edition was. It was the basic model in a posh skin. Within a few months of purchasing that, I'd already upgraded to the Quest 3 with the better lenses and the bigger hard drive, because if you do end up getting into VR, you're going to learn that your storage space is very precious. So with that said, if you are thinking of taking the plunge and you weren't sure which model to get, if you can afford that extra cash, then I would definitely recommend going for the upgraded 3 model with the better lenses and the bigger storage if you can, because yeah, you're going to learn quickly that your storage is very, very precious. So you're probably wondering if VR was what I expected it to be, and the truth be told, I didn't expect it to be that good. I mean, obviously, we all know the dream is Ready Player One. Was I expecting that? No. Did I think it was going to be as good as what it is? Truth be told, no. It was much better than what I ever imagined it was going to be. Just the immersion in itself. I mean, even apps like this Brink Traveller, that kind of just puts you in there. I mean, there's not a lot you can do in this. You can kind of move around a little bit, but it's about feeling like you're potentially in that zone, in that area, and that's something that regular gaming is never going to be able to achieve. Is it perfect in VR? God no, of course it isn't. But does it do a good job? Well, I mean, I guess that's an individual thing. Personally for me, yeah, it does a very good job of making me feel like I am actually in the environment. The sheer scale of things, it's breathtaking. So yeah, it more than surpassed my expectations first time I put that headset on. Even in games that don't have photorealism or apps that don't have photorealism, you can still feel very immersed in the environment just because of the sheer scale. So yeah, big thumbs up. So what about motion sickness, I hear you asking? Is it a thing? I've heard all these horror stories, and yeah, it very much is a thing. But thankfully, there's a lot of things they've got to try and offset that for you. Got different options for turning and moving. You can snap turn, smooth turn, teleport, smooth walk, or joystick walk as they call it, which is actually my preferred method. Joystick walk, smooth turn. They can dim the areas so that when you're moving, apparently that's meant to ease any motion sickness. Kind of does the opposite for me. So again, motion sickness, it's very individual thing, but again, with the immersion, if you do have a fear of heights, confined spaces, that immersion can feel very, very real. And VR has a tendency to kind of drop you in games and apps at height a lot of the time, which I get because it gives you a great view. But if you're expecting to have your feet on the ground, even though your feet never leave the ground, in reality, once that headset kicks in and that screen lights up, if you're way up in the air, all the way up there, you're going to feel like you're about to fall. I do anyway. And that's part of what I love about VR. That immersion definitely gets your heart racing at times. I mean, just look at all this. I'm never ever going to visit these places in my life, in the real world. But this kind of gives me a sense that I've been. So gaming in VR, I guess that's what a lot of people are thinking of investing in a headset for in the first place. Is it any good? Well, that's what really shocked me when it comes to VR. I mean, having been a gamer my entire life, gaming since the 80s, been there, tried it all, and I kind of know what games I like. And those were the games that I kind of aimed for when I first got into VR, and yeah, they was enjoyable, but they didn't kind of hit home the same as they do kind of on a flat screen. Whereas games I've played on a flat screen, talking kind of FPS games, I mean, I've never been any good. I just cannot aim to save my life. But stick me in VR, give me a gun, tell me to shoot that zombie in the head, and I'm giving that dude a headshot from across the road. Same with like puzzle games. Never really been a fan. Never really kind of piqued my attention when it comes to flat screen gaming. But in VR, they hit differently. The whole interaction and having to kind of interact with things in order to solve a puzzle, the sense of accomplishment and achievement you get, it just hits differently. And yeah, they're kind of my go-to games in VR. I consider myself quite lucky. I got the best of both worlds these days. Flat screen gaming for my open world roleplay games, and then I can jump into VR if I want to shoot some zombies in the head, or I want to try solving a puzzle and working out what on earth is going on in these crazy fantasy games. And there's a lot of games. The back catalogue is huge, and I'm not talking AAA games. Yeah, we all like a AAA game. I've tried some of them on the Quest, but some of my favourite games have been like cheap as chips games. Got games I've paid like $1.99 for, and the immersion and the fun factor, it outshines any AAA game I've ever played. And that again, it just boils down to the sheer immersion of being in VR. It's the scale of things, it's just immense. Definitely recommend giving it a go if you're thinking of getting into this. I'm so glad that I did. So I kind of feel like all I've done so far in this video is blow smoke up VR's ass, and of course, with anything in life, there's always a dark side. Oh, isn't this nice? So yeah, as I say, anything in life, good got to come with bad. And when it comes to the Quest, there's a few things that you need to be aware of. Firstly, it can get damaged very easily. Can't be being left in the sun. You can scratch your lenses. All of this is either machine breaking or certainly immersion breaking. And then there's obviously the cost. It can get expensive very quickly, certainly when you start adding accessories. Also, there's the comfort factor. Obviously, accessories can help with that, but as I say, they get expensive. But you have to remember, you've got a machine strapped to the front of your face. This thing, it can get heavy with prolonged use. It can get warm. It can get sweaty. You don't really want to be playing this on a hot summer's day. Certainly not like in the heat wave we just had. Kind of makes the whole thing a little bit unbearable. So it's not something that you can just turn on whenever you feel willy-nilly like you can with a games console or a PC. There's loads of accessories that you can actually get that are going to help with comfort, extend your battery life, etc. Personally, I didn't need to bother with any of those because I had the Xbox edition that came with a Quest 3 Pro head strap. So I just pulled the head strap off that and attached it to the Quest 3 when I upgraded. So I've never really had any issues with the head strap. The only things I did kind of invest in was some grips for the controllers. And I'm not going to lie, I couldn't live without those now. Those were definitely the best investment I've made. Tried a couple of different face masks. One was made my face even sweatier. Other one was just very uncomfortable. So yeah. Doesn't come without its downsides: cost, potential damage, comfort. You've got to take all these things into account as you're thinking of getting into VR, because the last thing you want to do is spend your money to find that you're just really not happy with the whole comfort and feel of it. So definitely do some research, folks. So you're wondering, do I have any regrets getting into VR? And the honest answer to that is, yes, I do. I actually regret not getting into it sooner. I kind of feel like I missed out on its development and its growth, and that makes me a little bit sad. So if you're thinking about getting into VR, don't make my mistake. Yes, it is costly, but prices aren't coming down, they're only going up. Now is probably one of the best times to actually get in, but is it for you? Well, again, that's kind of going to depend on your personal expectations. If you're expecting to pop on a headset and be transported to a world like in Ready Player One, then leave that headset on the side, sit down and possibly wait a few more years. We ain't there yet. But if you're happy to accept the fact that we ain't there yet, but we certainly seem to be moving in that direction, personally, I think the only limitation really is hardware capabilities. Otherwise, I think we'd be a lot further down the path. Then, yeah, maybe this is for you. If you've got a friend, family member that's got a headset, ask them if you can borrow it. Try it if you haven't already before you fork out the cash. Even just take yourself along to one of these outlets now where you pay them a few pound and get to spend an hour in VR. See if it's for you. I think a lot of people are definitely missing out on something pretty special. Let me know in the comments if you're thinking about getting into VR, if you've just got into it. Let me know if this video helped you. Hopefully you got something from this video, even if it's just beautiful scenery. Cheers folks, PaperFish out.